Wow.
All right, we're gonna brew some Finca Sophia today.
Like,
Got Shiv here.
Look at these.
So the reason why I wanted to post this quick video on these is because Finca Sophia is actually, I want to say my favorite. It's either between this or Alita Estate, but in recent times, Finca Sophia for their naturally processed coffee right there has been my favorite. And this kind of holds a very special place in my heart because I come from the Bay Area and Finca Sophia is actually owned by Equator, surprisingly, from the Bay Area. And,
Shout out.
and I have had some really great experiences with some of those Panama coffees. Some of them from SEY and some of them from other places like Brewed Coffee. But the main thing about Finca Sophia is if you guys remember the $100 a cup Best of Panama #2, that was a Finca Sophia 94 point something coffee, or it was really high scoring. Finca Sophia in all of the Panama Geshas that I have tasted is the most, especially of the naturals, is the most blueberry and strawberry tasting coffee you will ever taste.
The natural.
The natural. So
That's-
if you remember Ethiopia Blueberry Bomb,
Yes.
this is going to be on another level. So I wanted to just brew these because I think you've never had Finca Sophia before.
No.
Okay, so
And the altitude 1900 to almost 2200.
yeah, very
it's
tall.
Crazy. And it's from Nueve Suiza.
Yes.
Volcan.
So very special coffees. SEY had a 2022 Finca Sophia, which I thought was incredible. 2023, they didn't release a Finca Sophia to the regular public. They did a collaboration with Motors Cafe or Coffee in Paris. I actually did get to brew some of that coffee for my birthday. There was a bucket of that coffee before they shipped it out, and I got to take a little bit of those doses and brew it at my birthday event for anybody who went to that one.
I was there.
Yes.
I was there.
I don't know if you got to. We only brewed that coffee like twice, and
Yeah,
I
maybe
can't.
not, maybe
yeah,
not.
it was super small. But that was a natural. The natural of this coffee is generally super clean. SEY did a release of 3 Finca Sophias. I have 2 of them here, but one of them is the natural. I think the natural is the one that is the most interesting to have. So if you have that, we're going to kind of brew it, and I guess I can brew it. We're going to brew with UFO. We'll show you what we're doing. This one is interesting because this is actually a blend of 2 lots because they had a fully washed lot, which I decided not to buy, but this
Surprising.
one is the one I think is the most important one is the natural to try, but the wash is incredible. This is actually a blend of 2 lots because the lots were so small that they blended together. I actually have had really great experiences with higher end coffees blended together. SEY has done that before with some of the higher end Ecuadorian Cup of Excellence Cruz Loma coffees. They'd had like this anaerobic Sidra Gesha blend. It's not really a blend if you think about it in the traditional sense
You're getting
of blending
2 like
coffees.
exceptional coffees. Like they're gonna taste great if you match the flavor profile with them.
So we're gonna go brew these.
Yeah. I'm gonna quickly clean the station up a little bit. Tidy it up.
I'll brew them.
If we're brewing these, like you got to make sure everything looks clean and tidy. So be right back.
But we're gonna brew these on UFO V2 here. Shout out to Jay and Kenzie. I've really been enjoying this brewer. It actually flows super fast and kind of gives me that punchiness and weighty acidity, but I would say on the clearer side than something like your Origami or V60. So it's kind of somewhere like the most in-between brewer between those really nice flat bottoms and your V60. And we're gonna just brew them on Gen 2 with the Gen 2 burrs. You don't need mega ultra high-end grinder to enjoy coffee like this. Although, yes, it will help unlock, maybe I would say some of those subtle nuances. But when you're getting coffees of this caliber, of this price point, it's really more of the experience. And I think you can kind of do anything to these coffees and they'll taste pretty good. Of course, within reason.
Right.
Yeah. So, gonna brew it on the UFO, and we're going to use some Cypress filters, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right, we are gonna brew these now. We're gonna brew it on UFO. So I have this is actually a Cypress Aurea filter, and you kind of just fold it up, and I'm using the Disruptor. I think that's what they call it. I can't remember. there's the Oshi, the negotiator, and I think the disruptor. I don't know what the names are. I'm sorry, Jay. But I pushed the paper filter in. I have found that it doesn't really like this is a really great brewer in that as long as you put the paper filter in some sort of way, it's actually really fast. It doesn't really stall, and you get great results. Which coffee should we start brewing first?
The washed, obviously.
The wash. Okay, we'll do wash and we'll do the natural because I haven't tasted these coffees this year, so I don't know which one is the more impressive one. But I think what's always fun with these is if you have multiple coffees, brew them side by side, and we're going to do a comparative tasting. So unfortunately, we only have one brewer, but we'll brew them side by side.
We could use the OG UFO too.
We gotta use this one. This one's.
Yeah.
I posted a picture of this, and then Jay was like, "Bro, where's the latest one?" So
Jay actually, he was so nice enough to send me that. He's awesome.
Yeah, really great guy. We're gonna grind on Ode Gen 2 with the Gen 2 brewers. I'm grinding at 4 point something, but I don't know where your 0 point is, but so far for a lot of our coffees, it's been working great. Let's do the wash. These, by the way, are a little over 2 weeks off roast now, so it's perfect.
Smell it.
Oh wow!
Have the camera smell it.
The camera's smelling it. Here, you smell it.
It's
Super
a perfume,
floral, clean. So if you guys haven't ever seen Panama Geshas, or if you ever look at like your Panama Geshas, they're really long, they're big. You can definitely tell there are 2 different types of coffees in here. Just looking at some of the sizes, right? And that's because they took 2 different lots and blended it together.
That smells.
But yeah, incredible. I'm very, very excited for this. So for the UFO and for a lot of the brewers nowadays that I'm doing is I'm just brewing, I'll brew 15 grams and we'll go to, we'll push the coffees out a little. I think with these coffees, they tend to perform a little stronger above 1:16 ratio, especially because they're more complex coffees and they're definitely for sure more tea-like. So, if you can extract more, really, I would say it's the thing that's interesting about these really well-roasted Panamanian Geshas, especially washed ones, is there's like a level or like an extension of flavors that I think is really incredible. So here we go. Let's go ahead and do this. And I actually think these are coffees that are really interesting to enjoy smelling. So let's grind it and give it a smell.
You can kind of smell it.
Yeah, you can. This is a wash coffee, which is amazing. Oh wow, that's incredible. I mean, I'm definitely smelling these white florals, tropical fruit,
super white florals.
It's just flowers. And
dog there.
Yeah, there's a dog here.
She's enjoying the Panama Gesha too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do 15 grams in here. The temperature I'm actually using is, usually I would do 100 Celsius. I think there's a fine line between like mega extracting some of these coffees and like, if you lower the temperature a little, this kind of goes against a lot of stuff that I've said before, but I think for some of these coffees, you lower the temperature a little, it'll help kind of round things out at the end, instead of you trying to go for maximum clarity and extraction. We're not RDTing with this grinder, so we do get a little bit of retention. Hey man, each of these grams is like actually worth something. So these 2 coffees, by the way, were $80 for 125 grams. And that makes sense when you look at the green costs, which is, $195 a kilogram. So it's like a little over $400 a pound. So that's why this is $80 for 125 grams.
And in the question of is it worth it, is it not? I think that's up to your price. Like, what's your price sensitivity?
I think what we're trying to do right now is an experience, right? It's the same thing when I was tasting the $100 cup of coffee. It's an experience. So here we go. I'm at 208, and I am still actually pouring a lot and doing most of what I do with most of the SEY coffees, where I will pour 60 grams in, give it a nice little wet WDT, you know, just to try to push these grounds in. But I found with the UFO, it's so forgiving in that the flow is really, really nice. But I think for these coffees, you do the longer bloom at the beginning just to really let things open up. And that wet WDT gives us kind of this little, I would say, darker first, layer of coffee. So, and then as I get into the pours, you can get pretty aggressive with how you pour.
What does it smell like?
Pour on here. Oh God, man, that's crazy. That smells so good. Flowers.
Wow. Super tropical for a wash.
Tropical and flowers. Loud too. And then I found with this, I can pour very fast, but because the angles of this already really facilitate, you can just kind of it's very fast flowing. That's what I'm trying to say. And the bypass is quite low, but look how fast that's going. And I have found that I'm able to get away with kind of longer brew times too. Brew times that I feel like maybe like 30 to 45 more seconds longer than my regular V60s, and they still taste so good. And they give you that weightiness, that punchiness of acidity that you get out of the flat bottom, but I think it's definitely higher clarity, veering towards something like your V60. Then we're gonna pour up to 255, something in that area, 258. Give it a swirl and a tap. But look at that, it's still going so fast. And the aromas on this coffee are incredible. Why? It just smells like flowers. Wow. The bed, when it was drying up there, when I was doing that bloom, totally was smelling like, flowers infused with some sort of tropical fruits. This is great. So now we're going to brew the natural once this one cools down, and just have some fines. I'm just gonna throw in there. It doesn't matter.
No.
I just want to make sure that we get all of the natural in here.
Yeah.
No washed coffee allowed.
Okay.
Total brew time on here, I like to push these coffees out to at least 3 minutes, like 3:30-ish. This is about 3.
Yeah, perfect.
Right. And we're gonna set that aside. I have found with these filters, maybe because of the way I'm folding them, and I have honestly found that it does not matter too much as long as you get the side correct, and you do enough of the folds. It's like, I don't know, it tastes great, and you see all the fines get captured to the side there.
We've talked about this a bunch. Like, as long as you're getting a good brew out of it, it doesn't need to be like by the book, but perfectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also it's like, I think visuals today are very it's hard to tell with visuals now. So I've been doing something like this. Jay, I'm sorry if this is wrong. I didn't look at the videos, but I do this and then I push it in against the UFO. But let's go ahead and brew the natural, and we'll taste these side by side. So I'm gonna brew the natural now.
Okay.
This is the one. So we brewed the wash. Now we're going to brew the natural. Well, we brewed the blend of the wash. I don't have the actual full wash on, otherwise I have 3 coffees. But here we go. This is the one I'm the most excited about. The natural. Oh, nice.
Oh, and the camera smells first.
Camera smells first. Big beans, big Panamanian strong beans.
Oh.
So it's different. It's I would say less floral, more like fruit.
Yeah, very
perfumey.
Sweet.
Super sweet, jammy. So again, this is my like, if you've had a blueberry bomb experience in your life, if you have a Finca Sophia coffee, a naturally processed Finca Sophia, it's gonna be just like that, but on another level. And we'll get these ground up.
Can we see them in your hands real quick?
Yeah. Naturally processed. You can tell if it's a natural easily by looking at the silver skin in the middle. If the silver skin is removed, that is a good indication that it is not a wash coffee. I'm gonna just grind at the same exact grind size. The grind size seemed to work really well, and generally with a lot of the SEY naturals, which there are only a handful of them. They will perform very similarly because they're super clean coffees.
I remember going to SEY and I'm like, I love the wash. I'm like, I'm sure you guys do naturals really well too. Like when are they on shelf? She's like, it's roulette. You come here, maybe we'll have one, maybe we won't.
That is so true. So here we go. This is the most impressive part. Yeah, holy shit. Wow. That is crazy. Super fruit forward. I mean, strawberry, blueberry. There is a florality component, a floral component of this as well. But holy shit. It smells like maybe a blueberry
jam.
compote.
Yeah, jam, exactly.
Crazy. And this is a natural too. So this is the same thing. This is that experience I had at Proud Mary where it's like, you know, you can have these coffees and you can give them to I would say, you know, normal people and they would be greatly impressed. And here we go. Let's get some water on it.
What temp are you going at?
I'm still brewing at 208. I do feel like you could brew this at any temperature pretty much and it would taste good. And I'm just kind of pushing. I have found because the UFO is wider, depending on how good you are, if you say you only pour in the center, you do want to just push some of those grounds in. At least I have found that to result in a really great cup. But wow, smell that, man.
Whoa.
And this is a natural, right? This is not, that's the amazing thing is that this is just a naturally processed coffee, right? There's no like, at least hopefully not, no experimentalness in here, right? Yeah, so they just put it in a dark room. They dry it, raise beds, put it in a dark room. There's no, there's nothing like crazy done to this coffee. And that's why these are very expensive coffees, because it's like they're able to achieve this level of expressiveness, this level of flavor, without a lot of, I would say, advanced fermentation techniques, which is pretty crazy when you're like, wow, that means they know what they're doing. But generally speaking, this is going to be, these are coffees, when you look at them from a dollar perspective, they're crazy expensive, right? And you really want to enjoy them, right? Like what we're trying to do is we're trying to enjoy them. That's why we brew two coffees next to each other.
We can nerd out a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah. It just smells like fruits. That's the crazy thing. It just smells like fruits.
It does smell like jam.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of like, I don't know how to explain this, an acidic smell, like a pleasant citrusy smell to it as well. Let's see.
So I brewed both of these to 15.1 to 1.2, depending on the retention and how accurate these the scales are, to 257, 258. So they're about the same ratio, a little over 1 to 17. I do think these are coffees that are interesting to they're incredibly forgiving because of how strong they are. I mean, generally these higher scoring coffees, they're super forgiving. But at the same time, if you really wanted to push them out, you could do something like mellow drip. You could go and extract a ton out of it. But I do find that because these coffees are so subtle, or there are some very subtle and complex components in there, if you really push things out, you do run into the risk of maybe some astringency or something that's covering up. Anyway, our brew time finishes around the exact same time, which is 3-ish minutes. Again, 3 to 3:30 is going to be good. So here we go. Let's go ahead and taste this now. We're going to try washed.
Try washed first. Let's put these cups here. Let's try
do washed and then we'll do the natural.
Oh my god.
Ooh. That's crazy that's still so expressive considering it's a washed coffee.
Okay. Put it down. Here's what we're trying.
This is a $20 cup of coffee right here.
It's a $20 sip. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, wow. Jesus. Wait, that's crazy. What is going on?
So much happening.
There's so much happening. Okay, hold on. This is a thinking coffee. You gotta You got to think about what's going on here.
I don't know if you got my reaction on first. I was like, what is going on in this coffee? I don't think I've ever tried anything this like complex.
As for a wash coffee.
Yeah. And it's just like, it just keeps going.
It's coating. Yeah.
Here.
Okay. Wow. Oh my God. I mean,
it just keeps going.
It's flowers up front. Incredible. Wow. I mean, flowers into like, I think there's a yellow fruit, like tropicalness into sweetness. Like, you know what this really reminds me of? This reminds me of something like the Takesi, Bolivian washed Takesi Gesha, where it's like that brown sugar sweetness. But this is significantly more floral.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting. Wow.
I think it's trying to get sweet at the end, but it's just like more salivating.
It keeps going, man. Holy shit, that's incredible. With all of these SEY coffees, let them cool until they're about room temperature, and then really let them open up.
There's a lot happening.
There is so much happening in that. Wow.
So so it says here about the structure. Mm-hmm. It's a very strong, like consistent structure. Every sort of sip, every sort of situation in the palate.
That's the thing with like the SEY structured acidity. The structure, it's like there's so much definition of stuff. There's so much detail. And I think this is now what I'm starting to think as I drink coffee and with people who are more in tune with how to cupping coffees and tasting coffees is like harmony.
Yeah.
Is like how well are things tied together? Everything is so well tied together. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There's a reason. There's a reason they're paying almost $200 a kilo.
Yeah.
For this. It's ridiculous.
Now let's do the natural.
Let's try the nat.
I'll give you a different cup. So I think with this, always taste these, try taste these coffees side by side. So the natural is what has impressed me the most in terms of...
Smell it.
Oh, wow. It's like jam. It's just like strawberry, blueberry jam.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow. See, I think for most people this would be the more impressive coffee if you were thinking about like from a pure how loud the flavor notes are.
Wow. See, it's crazy.
Strawberry, jasmine, blueberry.
I was just gonna say, even with the fruity notes, there's a jasmine tea kind of component to it.
Definitely acidity, fruit forward. Versus the wash was very floral forward. Here, let's give you the Shiv perspective.
And this one is more like it dries your mouth a little bit, so you want to kind of keep drinking it. Yeah, let's get a little bit more of that.
A little more.
Thank you.
I think this is a coffee that you can push very hard.
Yeah.
I think I could have extracted more out of it. But it's so, wow.
I think both of them are so extremely, complex. Even one's washed, one's natural. This is insane.
Can you tell this is a natural?
Mm-mm.
Well,
I can because I tried the wash first.
Yeah. Well,
trying it.
But if you were to ignore the wash with how clean the wash is tasting, you just were tasting that. I mean, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
It's so clean. This is when people say clean naturals. This is what I think about when I think about Finca Sophia coffees. I'm like, well, that is what a clean natural is, and very jammy, blueberries. It's syrupy. I'm gonna let this one cool down. I think the acidity is gonna come even more.
Bigger body than the wash, but that's what I was saying about the wash. The structure, wash usually you taste it, kind of mellows out and goes, but you can still taste the coffee 30 seconds after you've had your last sip.
And these are all brewed 1:17 ratio too. So these are not even
Would you try to push this natural 1-15?
I actually think this would be interesting on something like maybe an immersion brewer AeroPress.
Yeah.
But I like the ratio. Yeah. I actually think the ratio is what lets you get that slight extension of flavors. This would probably be incredible on espresso.
Yeah.
But you could have a $20 sink shot right there.
Dialing in. Yeah, you don't want to waste these.
But I actually think for the washed, I would push that out to like 1:18, 1:20 ratio if I was using something like a mellow drip.
So it says in here it's like exceptionally clean, which is one of the first things I thought. I'm like, I'm getting fruit, like it's very sweet, even on the aftertaste, but it's super clean.
It has the punchiness and loudness of a natural, but it doesn't have any of the pulpiness. It doesn't have any of the funkiness, which is crazy.
It's not funky at all.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, you're not going to find funk in these coffees. Now that this has cooled down, let me give it a taste.
Here you go.
All right, I'm switching the camera around.
More fruit coming out.
Wow. I mean, strawberry, blueberry.
Yeah.
Like literally, I don't know. It's like strawberry, blueberry. And at the end of each of those fruit notes, there's a jasmine component. Like for sure, jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like one fruit into jasmine. Or like, I think this is more strawberry forward. But you could perceive these either as like maybe a really, acidity forward blueberry or a strawberry.
Yeah.
But at the end of each of those fruit notes, there is jasmine.
I also think the way, you brewed it with high agitation, if we brewed it with low agitation, maybe there's less of the citrusy finish, that jasmine citrus, and then getting more of a punchy fruit.
Yeah, I'm just bringing the way I'm
bringing.
Some adjustments would be, brew. I have a high clarity mellow drip recipe, lower agitation. You could really tie a lot of those things together, but I think for coffees like this, I want them to be more like louder, more expressive, and I find the high agitation stuff to be pretty good. Although what's been really nice is because we brewed on UFO, I think the UFO is really letting us kind of get a little bit of that more like weightier acidity that is tying things together while retaining some of those more like higher
Straight
definition.
up, I haven't. Now it's been like a minute since I had the sip. My mouth just like feels like strawberries.
Wow.
Like strawberry juice almost.
So now...
Let's try the washed again.
Which one? Oh, this is the washed.
Yeah.
So now let's do the washed ones. The washed ones cool down the most. And we'll let this... But
cheers, man.
Cheers. Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow. Dude, that's
the
crazy.
tropical fruits?
Tropical flowers.
Like... in a wash, I think maybe we let the nat cool down a little bit.
Okay, you gotta get a fair comparison.
Because this is like, this almost tastes natural.
It's like so loud that it's
so
like,
loud.
That's the thing is like when I talk about Finca Sophia coffees, like this is the experience that I want people to have. Is like you've never like Shiv here.
Yeah.
He's never tasted Finca Sophia before.
No.
And this is your first experience tasting coffee. So this is like, you are getting the experience that I got with Finca Sophia, where like, I've never tasted coffees like of this caliber, or like just this loud. I think your other Panama coffees, like your Alitas, or even things like Gesha Village, they might be more complex in certain areas, but this is like loud.
Like, it just, I remember I was once in Costa Rica for like a bachelor thing, and trying tropical fruit in like, Latin America, those parts of the world. I was like, I've never tasted fruit like that. This sip just took me back to that bite of like pineapple I had, and then that finish of like juiciness in the mouth. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
This is incredible.
You have to let it cool down.
Yeah, that's the thing. These wash coffees, or like they say wash coffees, let them cool down until they're right above room temperature. And now let's give the natural a fair shake. Cool it down more.
You still have in there?
I still have a little, but I'll take some more.
Okay.
So these are like all, I would say these are all coffees in the same caliber as your Alitas, your Esmeraldas. Just Sophias are rarer.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, it holds a very special spot. What do you think now?
But bigger. It's just getting bigger and bigger. The body's just getting bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm. Very different coffees that we're tasting.
Different. I think because this was hotter when we tried it, the nat, it was like, I'm like, oh, it's very clean. And no, it's got big round body now that's coming out of it. It's there's a reason it's, you know, you're paying almost not necessarily for the cup of coffee, but to, like Brian says, to sit down, enjoy it, and talk about it. Like, it's an experience drinking these, because this is not a daily driver at all.
I wish I could daily drink these.
Yeah, you wish. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is there is not that much of this coffee at all in the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's why these coffees are very expensive, limited yields. So this coffee,
Peachy? Sorry, a little peachy too now?
peachy. Okay,
Yeah.
Let me taste it. Oh, I could see. I see where you're getting peach. Oh, hey, you're actually See, he said peach. Lance said peach. Yeah.
This is like...
So blueberry, it was like strawberry blueberries when it was hot, and then now I'm getting peach at the end. I'm getting like jasmine into peach.
Yeah, exactly. Before it was like jasmine at the end, now jasmine's... Dude, like I think people should, if you have expendable income that you can, and you really enjoy this stuff, like it'll like make your day, or make, you know, you want to share it with someone and have an experience around it, it's so well worth it.
So a lot of these Finca Sophia coffees, and the reason why I was so interested when I was at Proud Mary to do the $100 cup of coffee, because it was Best of Panama #2. It was Finca Sophia Natural. This is also Finca Sophia Natural. And this, to me, I mean, of course, that Best of Panama coffee, I think it is stronger than this.
Yeah.
But this is already so close to that, where it's just like blueberry, jasmine, strawberry. And that's the thing, is like this particular farm, I actually might be able to visit them. I'll try to visit them if I can use my connections to get there. Is that like this, to me, is just such a great presentation of like what is possible from a, you know, how loud can you possibly get fruit notes out of the most, I don't want to say the most simple way of processing, but like in today's landscape, a quite simple way of processing. Versus what else exists there in the world of advanced fermentation. What's also very fun for me today is I've never actually tasted a washed Finca Sophia coffee. Most of the Finca Sophias I've tasted have been naturally processed. They really remind me of strawberry, blueberry. Shout outs to Valerian of Boot Coffee, or Coffee Is Me as well, where he brewed me some Finca Sophia coffees. He gave me some Finca Sophia coffees up in San Rafael, where Equator is. So I've gotten a chance to taste a fair bit of Finca Sophia naturally processed coffees, and they've always held a very special place in my heart. The wash coffees, though, I am trying to figure out where to put these wash coffees.
Yeah, this wash coffee, I think, is... Let's try a little bit more, but
Yeah.
I think I have my...
Okay, well, then we can talk about what we think our favorites are.
Yeah.
The wash coffee, to me, because I'm very used to your Alita wash coffees, your Esmeralda wash coffees. This thing is kind of... It is of the same caliber, but I haven't had enough of it to kind of say, like, this is what I think these taste like. You know, your Alita estate washes, your El Burro wash, right? Finca Sophia wash, very interesting. I think this might be the most floral forward, but it's like loud florals. It kind of is reminding me of how loud some of the florals you'll find in Esmeraldas are, but definitely more...
You're not ready for this sip.
Oh, wow. Wow. Tropical fruit. Okay, so this is the thing. Very tropical fruit forward versus, I would say, your Alitas are more like plum lime, or and then Esmeraldas and just generally like Jansen and the general landscape of Panama, washed Panama coffees are very citrus and tea-like and jasmine. Like, this is like that, but instead of citrus, I would say definitely more yellow and
I'm getting like papaya, like a little like
papaya,
papaya, but there is a tea-like and citrusy sort of finish to it as well.
But it's definitely not your classic Panama. Panama.
It's not. I'm not getting a ton of sweetness out of it either.
I'm just getting flowers.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like flowers.
Yeah.
Flower. Like usually you have these coffees where it's like, you know, classic Panama Gesha, I think, is like, you know, very tea-like, citrus, then florality into some sort of sweetness.
Right.
It's very delicate. This is like, we're gonna flip everything over, and we're gonna be very floral forward, loud florals, loud acidity, and just like florals all the way through.
Insane.
I think the closest to me that would remind me of something like this would maybe be a coffee from Altieri, but Altieri is still more citrus forward. So this is like tropicals, which is super. I'm greatly impressed by these coffees. I am now very curious about what the regular, like the single lot wash coffee tastes like. So if you guys got that, please let me know about what that tastes like. But man, these Finca Sophia coffees are incredible. And now let's talk about which ones we like the most.
I want to taste
Okay.
the nat one more time. Which one's
Okay.
the nat cup?
This is the nat one.
Just a quick sip.
Okay.
And then we'll give our little final thoughts. That's the washed. That's the nat.
Oh, you just
Sorry.
we
I
mixed
guess I'll
things.
drink more.
Yeah, we mixed things together. You mixed my wash with the natural.
How does that taste?
It still tastes good.
It's not gonna taste bad.
I mean, yeah, I accidentally poured the wrong one to here, but it's okay.
Is that good?
No. Here, this is a swap. Just swap to this one.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Natural. This is a hard one.
Yeah, it's
They're
hard.
both so good.
Super jammy again. My winner.
Was your winner?
Yeah. It's the washed.
Wash.
And I'm
Ooh,
like,
that's
you know,
surprising.
You know, I'm a
That-
natural guy.
That
Like,
really surprises me.
This is like the most complex, probably washed coffee I've ever had. It's up there with the Takesi and some of the Esmeraldas we've been brewing, but it's not giving washed. It's crazy. It's so complex. It's got a really good structure to it, and the tropical fruitiness of it is like absurd for a wash. So this is my vote here, the washed.
Yeah.
What about you?
That is also I am surprised. Maybe because like I would have originally before we started this, I was thinking I would pick this coffee over this coffee, and I think the reason why is because I just had never tasted washed
Yeah.
Finca Sophia before.
Yeah.
So this is just like really threw me for a loop, and I was very impressed by it.
Very impressed. I don't think I've tried a washed coffee like similar to this.
Yeah,
The natural, like I was intrigued because SEY, you know, not a ton of natural. So when they do drop something like this, it's like you got to get it. Amazing. I'm not, you know, it's like choosing between two gold mines. It's like which one are you going to choose?
I think these two coffees are definitely they're somewhat in my top 10 this
Yeah,
year.
for this year,
For this
yeah.
year, for at least the SEY coffees, which we'll probably do another SEY top 10 rankings that I did last year. But yeah, absolutely incredible coffees. And thank you, Shiv, for tasting these with me.
Absolutely. It's been a blast. Thank you for bringing these, and find a friend who you can, you know, maybe share this box of coffee with because it's worth it. It is so.
Yeah,
totally
these are
worth it.
incredible. All right, thank you.
Peace.
See you later.
See ya.